Hey, welcome to our Friday broadcast. Today we are going to be giving you 10 tips to help you with your keto-like journey, or IF and keto-like journey, I guess is the better way to describe that. My name is Diane and this is
Michael.
And we have been practicing intermittent fasting together as a couple for the last
year and a half
as a couple, I guess 2 years for me. Michael kind of stood by the sidelines and patiently watched me as I started my own journey, and then he jumped on board with us, and now we incorporate this into our family as well. And this is the platform in which we share what it is we're doing with ourselves as a married couple and how we really incorporate this into our everyday life, as well as what we're doing with our family. Welcome. If you're jumping on live, please take a second to leave a comment in the comment section. That way we can recognize you and answer any questions or comments that you have at the end of this broadcast. And if you're catching this on the replay or on my YouTube channel, welcome as well. We appreciate you being here with us. Please feel free to leave a comment or any questions that you have for us on those platforms, and we will make sure we circle back around in the next 24 hours and get those answered as well. So 10 tips to help you get started on your intermittent fasting and keto-like journey. Tip number 1 is just to start practice intermittent fasting. Remember, intermittent fasting is a process of breaking up a 24-hour circadian rhythm window into 2 sections, a fasting section and a feasting section. What you want to do is find a way to dissect that 24-hour clock up in, so you have a fasting window which is longer than your feasting window. The best way to start is just by skipping breakfast and a mid-morning snack. 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of feasting is a really great place to start. But ultimately what we teach in my intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course is to get to that sweet spot, which is 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of feasting. So the best way to start is just start incorporating with some intermittent fasting.
Yep. And tip number 2, in your diet, eat high fat, moderate to low protein and conscious carbohydrates. And in our community, we're practicing keto-like lifestyle. So we're not focusing on a certain amount of carbs, because if you're strictly keto, you're doing 20 to 50 carbs. We don't do that.
Grams of carbs.
What did I say?
Just carbs, but grams, yeah.
Grams of carbs. But we don't do that. We're focusing on eating a keto-like diet, which is the high fat and the moderate to low protein and conscious carbs. And that's been working great.
And conscious carbs is just an alternative way of looking at managing your macros, basically. So instead of being super hyper focused on counting carbs, you're just very conscious and mindful when you open up your feasting window where your carbohydrates are coming from, and choosing ones that are less starchy or empty carbs, and really using ones that are nutrient dense. Awesome job on that one, Michael. Mm-hmm. Number 3, work out consistently. Cardio and a combination of strength training is the best approach to take. You want to make sure that you are getting your cardio in there, and you are incorporating some strength training so that you are building up some lean muscle mass and improving your strength and flexibility. Cardio, or just exercise in general, really does help you deplete up those backed up glycogen stores and will get you into that keto-like lifestyle a lot faster. What I always recommend is, if you're just doing intermittent fasting and keto-like living, to just have a better quality of life as far as how you're eating nutritionally and living your life, then you want to start incorporating exercise right away. If you are on a healing process, so you're incorporating intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle to get you out of a situation where maybe you're battling diabetes or insulin resistance, or you're trying to fix something that you feel is kind of broken within your system, I always personally recommend that you put exercise on the shelf until you really get your fasting and your feasting windows at a comfortable and confident place for yourself. You want to make sure that you're incorporating limited new stressors in your body if you can. And so incorporating that intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle should be your primary focus. And when you get really good with that, that's when you want to kick back in that fitness component for sure.
And that's the way we attacked it. And
yes,
it works well.
Great. And we're teaching that as well. So we do have a course on intermittent fasting to do the foundations of fasting. And then we have a second course, we call it our level 2 course, which is fasting, feasting, and fitness, where we really try to undo some of the bad habits that you've incorporated with fitness in the past and really teach you how to incorporate fitness with this new lifestyle and this new concept of living your life in a keto-like way.
And the next step or next tip is to get good quality sleep. And that's been an area that's been a struggle, actually, for both of us. Probably more me so than you.
I think we just struggled at a different time. When I was struggling with it, it was the menopausal type of sleeping problems where you have insomnia, night sweats, and leg cramps. And what I did with my intermittent fasting and incorporating more magnesium and really balancing out my hormones helped me fix that. And then I think once I fixed that, then we started focusing on your sleep patterns, and we were noticing that I was getting really deep quality sleep and Michael was getting no deep quality sleep. And so we really focused on targeting some of the areas in your life that we thought were keeping you from that, and we turned those around.
Yeah. And most of mine was associated with work. I mean, like I was just workaholic and just not getting good quality sleep, you know, waking up early hours and staying up and working late. And I think this year we kind of corrected a lot of that, and, you know, we were really mindful of my hours and getting to bed at a good time and getting a good night's sleep. And intermittent fasting, everything we've said so far has helped that whole process of getting better sleep.
Right. And we really watch we're really conscious about our carbs, which has helped a lot too. What we're finding in this community, and what we found with ourselves, is that those late night carb attacks that we have really can influence the level and quality of sleep that you have, especially when you've been really good about your carbohydrate intake. So having that bowl of, you know, cashew milk ice cream at the end of the night can be that thing that's keeping you from the quality deep sleep, as a glass of wine can, or a beer might at the end of the night, where you think you're winding down and helping yourself relax, can really cause the opposite effect when you're really good about intermittent fasting and living this keto-like lifestyle. It has that opposite effect on you and can keep you awake.
And if you're staring at a computer screen or watching a violent movie or something, I mean, those things are going to keep you up.
Yeah.
And we kind of already know that, but you kind of do it anyway. You're like, well, I'm going to watch this movie, or, you know, or I have this work I have to do on my computer, and you do that, then you think you're going to go straight to bed. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. Okay, number 5, what we're doing here and what we do all day. Drink mineral water. That really does help you get your electrolytes balanced out. And when you're in a fasted window for a long period of time, we can become mineral deficient. And the specific minerals that we're concerned with are those electrolyte kind of minerals. So potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sodium are the 4 we really want to look at. Not every mineral water is going to have a complete balance of everything that you need. This one has great sodium, but it's lacking magnesium. Mountain Valley has magnesium, but it's lacking sodium. So we really do alternate between the 2 of these throughout our day, and it really has helped a lot. Magnesium is that thing, especially for women. We talk about it on my channel a lot, where a lot of us are walking around really deficient in it. And so drinking something like mineralized water that has magnesium in it can really help you get those levels up. It will help with the quality of sleep that you have, will help balance out your hunger hormones, will help you manage what it is you're doing in your feasting window as well. Because when we are efficient in our vitamins and minerals, we tend to crave things less. So it will really help you get into that opportunity of feasting in a more manageable way and not feel like you're craving things that you shouldn't have.
Step 6, stop unnecessary celebrations, or limit daily celebrations, I should say. And I think we all fall in this trap, and this is something we've kind of been good at for a long time. This is one area that we've been pretty strong at, is saying no to the celebrations. And we do fall back into that trap at times. You're like, oh, wait a minute. We've had all these graduations and all these things going on, and you're just in celebration mode. And it's very easy to fall into celebration mode, even at work. I find at work you can fall into celebration mode. There's always somebody retiring. There's always somebody's birthday. There's always something going on, or that boy pizzas, you know, you know, and we tend to like scarf that down because it's there. They gave it to us. We have to eat it, and you don't necessarily have to eat it, you know. And I've had people stare at me like, why aren't you enjoying the company pizza? I don't want to, you know, that's not in my window right now.
You have to give yourself permission to say no, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that if you've never done that, it can be a little bit difficult. But I mean, if you think about it, I think we're kind of in denial about that. Like you can have this little birthday celebration at work, you have cake, and then you go out to dinner, it's Friday night, and now you're going to have pizza, beer. Oh, let's get a dessert. And, you know, so you're not even looking at that earlier celebration you have, and here you are celebrating again, and then, you know, you're going to a wedding on Saturday, you know, so it just kind of snowballs into you just get in this celebration mode, and you gotta break it.
Yeah, and you know, if you've taken one of my courses online, we implement the little Johnny rule at our house. So never be afraid to implement the little Johnny rule. It works really well. And you just create boundaries around what your celebratory type of feasts are going to be. And then also learn, we're really good at this now too, is not rewarding yourself with food.
Yeah.
Right. If you like, you know, the first thing you do when you're like, oh, I just lost 10 pounds. Let's go out and celebrate with pizza and beer. That's it. Why don't you go for a hike instead or something, or get a pair of new shoes or something like that. So make sure that when you're rewarding yourself, the reward actually matches the accomplishment that you just had. Number 7 is incorporate quality oils and fat. So this is a question we get a lot, like what's a healthy fat? So you want to make sure that the oils that you're using in your food, and we put oil on everything in our house because we're seeking out fat in every opportunity that we can. Avocado oil is our oil of choice. It has the highest burn rate, so it's the lowest in toxicities. It really doesn't taste like anything at all, and it goes with everything. So we put avocado oil on just about everything. Olive oil is another great oil to use, as well as coconut oil. Keep in mind, coconut oil tastes like coconut, so it's usually good for baking and those things you want to kind of make sweeter tasting. We use it for sweet potatoes too. And you want to stay away from like refined oils. You want to stay away from corn oil, safflower oil, canola oil as much as possible. And I know those are those kind of oils that tend to be in some of those kind of convenient fun foods that we add in. I know we still have some things in our refrigerator that we get from like Trader Joe's or whatever that have some canola oil in it. So you want to just make sure you're limiting those things. You don't want to become a food fanatic or afraid to eat things. Just make sure you're aware of how often they're occurring in your daily life and limit them as much as possible. And then when you do have an opportunity to make a choice, you choose, you know, the better options if you have them available. And then of course avocados are a great healthy fat as well as some nut butters and nuts and stuff like that. But we oil everything. Don't be afraid to oil anything. That's really how you can get your fats high.
Number 8, use exogenous ketones. We've been doing that now for, what did you say, 6 months?
Oh, 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months at least.
And we did them at first just for healing purposes.
And I can tell you that it has helped in every area that we've talked about so far. I mean, it helps you with your clarity, with your thinking. It helps you with your energy levels. It helps you to sleep better. And, you know, we all know in this community that you can create your own ketones through fasting or living using a keto diet. You can create your own ketones and burn your own ketones, which is going to be better than burning sugar. You know, we know now that that you're going to get a better burn by using your own ketones than to instead of trying to tap into your glucose or sugar stores.
You have to get through those first.
Yeah, you have to get through those to get to the ketones. But adding ketones has been sort of a bonus for us. And if you've ever taken Diane's course, she does teach you should learn how to use your own ketones first before you start doing this exogenous ketones. But once you get into figuring out how to do that and you use exogenous ketones, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it can take you to the next level.
Yeah, especially with the workouts. I feel like I can go to the next level with the workouts. I can have a faster workout, take some ketones, kind of dirty up that fast a little bit, like especially if it's toward the end of the fast. Man, your workout, you can feel it. I can feel a huge difference when I'm about halfway through my workout, 3/4 of the way through. I can feel like I can really push it and not feel like I'm going to poop out.
Right.
You know? So
and exogenous ketones are what helped you really get to that deep sleep phase.
Yeah.
You were using those before we started using them for workouts. We were still just experimenting with them And that really was that thing that gapped you into that going from restless sleep to the very long periods of deep sleep when you had that at night, about what was it, like an hour or so before you went to bed.
Right.
And then we monitored his sleep and he got into deep sleep. So there are some advantages to exogenous ketones beyond just working out, for sure. You just want to make sure you know the ingredients that are in them and you're getting them from a trusted source, for sure. And then number 9, increase your salt intake. Again, something we talk about in my community a lot, something we talk about here a lot. A pinch of salt in the middle of the day is so much more effective and feels so much better than that Diet Coke we used to use to get us over that mid-afternoon slump, and actually can enhance a fasted state for you and kind of push you a couple more hours into a deeper fast, which is great. Salt does not, or sodium does not, take you out of a clean fasted state. Taking a teaspoon of organic Himalayan sea salt and just dropping it right underneath your tongue, so you want to do it sublingually. That way it kind of dissolves right underneath your tongue and it goes right into your system. Back it up with a little mineral water and you are good to go. I actually feel like salt does so much better for me energy-wise than even a cup of coffee does. So I do not hesitate anymore to just take a pinch of salt, stick it right underneath my tongue, and then go about my merry way. I'm also using salt as an exercise booster while I'm training for my half marathon. When I get that little bit of a slump on a long run, I take a little bit of salt in and I'm good to go. I have to pop another 3 or 4 miles out. So it is also great for that sort of mid-level endurance type of energy boost. Will also help kick in those electrolytes as well, because we know sodium is one of those electrolytes that we definitely need. It can also help curb some of those hunger hormones that are a little bit out of control when you're really getting started with intermittent fasting in a keto-like lifestyle. It really does help you get through that keto flu period as well.
Number 10, limit or eliminate alcohol completely. We have both eliminated it, not completely, but we eliminate it for periods of time. Like if you're, sometimes we get into denial. Like I said before, you get into denial of, why am I not getting the result? Why am I not sleeping well? Why am I not getting the energized sense of calm? Why? And you're drinking like a fish on Friday and Saturday night. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to do, but you can't question. You can't question like, well, why am I not getting this? But you're doing this. So we both realize that. I mean, we've had periods in our life that we drink. I like beer. I drink beer. I was kind of sound like somebody that was on the news recently, but we won't get into that. but I do. I mean, I enjoy a good beer. We enjoy alcohol, but there has to be a limit to it. And if you don't have a limit on it and you can't figure out why you're not getting results, you probably should take a really close look at that. Or if you're not sleeping well, I mean, so it contributes to a lot of things that, you know, with your health that are going to be adverse. Yeah,
and one of the most common question I get is, what am I doing wrong in my fast that I'm not getting the results that I want? And usually it's not what you're doing in your fast, it's what you're doing in your feast. So if you do nothing in your fast, that's correct. You're not that. You can't fail yourself. But once you open up that feasting window, what are you not being realistic about? What are you justifying? Well, I just fasted for 20 hours so I can have 2 glasses of wine. Yeah, you can, but I'm guaranteeing you that 2 glasses of wine is going to sit around on you. And it's not going to make you feel good, and it's going to cause you to have a bad night's sleep, which is going to raise your cortisol levels. But, I mean, there's this host of things that happen, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with consuming alcohol, but you have to know that there's consequences to it, and they will put limits on the results that you're going to get. So we kind of go through seasons. I'm on a season now where I look at a glass of wine and I go, I know that's going to make me feel bad. I don't even want to bother, kind of thing. And then there's times where I'm like, oh man, a glass of wine would be really good. It's almost like you want to call almost a romantic type of thing, or like a comfort kind of thing, where like, oh, it's a cold day, like a glass of red wine would be so cozy right now. And then you're like, ugh, no. Even coffee anymore for me. Like I told Michael this morning, I had 2 sips of coffee and I was like, can't even do it. Didn't even taste good. So you go through those phases. But if you're feeling stuck, or you're having problems getting started with intermittent fasting and it feels like you're struggling and you can't get to the energized sense of calm, you're like, what's all the hype about? I don't get it. Or you can't manage what you're doing in your keto, like feasting lifestyle. You have to be very honest with yourself and very conscious and mindful about what you're doing in your feasting window. And I guarantee you it's what you're doing in your feasting window. Oftentimes it's that innocent little thing like a glass of wine or a couple of beers on a Friday night that will really stall the results that you were hoping for. And it does take a period of time. Like we talked about, we didn't do any kind of exogenous ketones in the beginning because we needed to just go raw, down and dirty, healing type of effect. Clean, super clean, long fast, super dedicated feast with very limited things in it. And then when you get to that point where you're feeling confident or you can be conscious and honest with yourself, that's when you can start experimenting with some things. And then when you feel what it feels like to feel great and you can fast long and feast well, then you look at things in a different way. Like, ooh, I don't want that feeling to go away. That's not going to be as important to me as it used to be. So you just change your paradigms.
And sometimes I think as adults, we can get a little bit stubborn because you get kind of set in your ways. It's like, hey, I worked all day. I deserve to be able to have a beer, glass of wine. I don't care what it is you're talking about. Well, that's fine. I mean, you can do that, but don't question when you're not getting the results. So sometimes you have to just, we've had times where we're like, no, nothing at all. Like if we're trying to get a certain result or hit a certain goal, you just can't do it.
Well, and I've shared here before where I was complaining about like, oh, I don't know why I can't, like, I don't feel confident in my jeans. And Michael was like, you're like a bag of chips away from like feeling amazing in your jeans. And I was like, snap, like he's right. So
it's easy to do. You start snacking. It's like,
but they're made with avocado oil.
Yeah,
like,
we eat good chips like that are better than other chips and the better bad chips. But man, you get going on some chips and some avocado and some,
your 200 carb grams into your day when you really should only be eating 50 to 75. And it happens. So just be very realistic with what you're doing and being very conscious and what you're mindful of what you're doing in your feasting window so you don't beat yourself up for no reason. Make conscious decisions and own that stuff. Like it's okay to tear up a bag of Siete chips on a Friday night. That's fine. Just know that's going to set into your body at some point. Don't beat yourself up over it. Schedule an extra long workout or slim down some carbs down the road or whatever you got to do, but stop beating yourself up, I guess is the biggest message for those kind of things.
If you're bonking out halfway through your workout tomorrow, it's
probably all those carbs you're burning.
It's probably why you're bonking out. But, I guess the thing I want to say is at least be aware. Like if you're aware of why you're bonking out, it's better than bunking out and going, God, why can't I make it through a workout? At least
Right, exactly.
So if you're going to have that beer, have the beer and get on with your life and enjoy it. Enjoy the beer while you're having it. And then know tomorrow when you bunk out halfway through your workout, that's probably why. Yeah,
so don't cheat yourself out of an expensive beer or wine. Don't cheat yourself out of time with the person that you love that you're spending. So date night, like that was the one thing we realized too. If we're going to go out on date night, we make a decision about what we're going to do. And if we're going to have a beer or we're going to have a glass of wine, we just own the glass of wine and then we don't have any regrets about it because that's an expensive regret. And then you make the person that you're with feel bad that you guys just spent time together and then you feel guilty or remorseful about it. You wish you wouldn't have or whatever. So let me recap really quick the 10. So number 1 is start intermittent fasting is the best thing that you can do to get started on your IF Keto-Like journey. 2, eat Keto-Like. Number 3, work out consistently. Number 4, get quality sleep. Number 5 was drink mineral water. Number 6, stop or limit daily celebration. So are you rewarding yourself with food? 7, incorporate quality oils and fat. Number 8, use exogenous ketones. Number 9 was increase your sodium intake. And number 10 is limit or eliminate alcohol. And that could just be a temporary thing until you get yourself to the point where you're feeling confident with what you're doing. Hope these tips helped you. This is an amazing lifestyle to live. There is a learning curve to it. There are some ebbs and flows, and there's some tips and tricks. And hopefully that these 10 tips that we gave you will help you have the confidence that you need to start your IF and keto-like journey. Karen, thanks for jumping on live with us. Hubby and I are on vacation in HH. What's HH? I don't know what HH is. I'm getting IF. I'm making IF work on vacation with no problems. I'm so grateful. Yeah, IF on vacation is the best. Sleep in, skip breakfast.
Is that somewhere in Hawaii?
I don't know.
Hilo, Hawaii or something?
I don't know. Wherever she's on vacation, wherever she is.
Enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we love intermittent fasting on vacation too. You know, and the cool thing about intermittent fasting is, remember, it's just breaking up.
Hilton Head.
Oh, okay. It's breaking up your window, right? So when we're on vacation, we like to have brunch. And then we kind of have an earlier dinner. And we have some videos out there, I think on YouTube, where how we celebrate on vacation. And we're going to be going to Hawaii for Christmas with the family. And we'll be fasting there too, as much as we can. And then feasting well. So make sure you're feasting well on vacation as well, Karen. Teresa, always good to have you with us for sure. We are going to cut out of here because we need to go get our little sweet thing from school, and we're going to start our weekend. Make sure that the decisions that you're making tonight and this weekend really do help you get to that point where you're looking and feeling your best and living your most authentic life and living your life with no regrets that are connected to food. That really is not a very fun way to live. Trust us. How can I find a consistent exercise that works for me? Tony's asking that. The best way to find a consistent workout that works for you is understand what working out will do for you in the long run. Understand what the positive benefits of fitness is for you, how it will help you enhance your life, help you live a longer life, help you live a more energetic life. So I talked about this in my F3, my fasting, feasting, and fitness course this morning. Sometimes when you're trying to get consistent with your workout, you have to go into those inner feelings. You have to find that intrinsic type of reward for what fitness is going to do for you. Fitness will help increase your memory, cognitive abilities, help reduce inflammation in your body, give you more energy, put you in a better mood, help you look better, help you feel better. So if you're finding that you're struggling with working out, then you probably haven't really identified your why, and you might feel like you have to work out, and that should never be the case. You do not have to work out. You should choose to work out because of all the positive benefits that it brings to you in your life and what it'll do for you and how you can live your life around others.
And keep an open mind. Because I can tell you, we got a Peloton bike, what was it, over a year ago now? Or coming up on a year. And I wasn't down with the Peloton. I thought it looked cool. I mean, they had the screen there, the commercials were great. I'm like, that's a cool machine, you know, but it was going to be for her. Like, I mean, I might do it occasionally, but I just wasn't down with a stationary bike. Well, getting on that thing and starting to do it, I mean, like, it just changed my whole thought about what a stationary bike is, and I enjoy it. Well, but you don't know unless you have an open mind about doing certain things and giving things a shot. You could be missing out on things that you could totally love that you have no idea because you're not open to try it. I mean, you might fast walk and find that that's like the greatest thing ever, or hiking in the woods, or running, or rowing, or I mean, who knows? I mean, there's so much stuff out there. CrossFit, you might do that and go, wow, I thought that was for these amazing athletes. I love CrossFit. I mean, who knows? I mean, but just give it a shot.
Yeah. So, excuse me, you have to experiment with different things and then kind of settle on the thing that makes you feel most excited. A lot of working out really shouldn't have to do with the, what do I want to say? How you're going to look, but how you're going to feel. So do exercise that makes you feel good first. Feel good emotionally, mentally, and physically, so you'll get that connection to it. And then once you have that connection, then it's time and consistency, and the time and consistency will get you the look that you want. So you have to be emotionally connected to what you're doing. It has to make you feel good about the time that you're spending there, or it'll be short-lived, and then you'll jump in and out, And then that jumping in and out just leads to that feeling of failure. And then we have those, we talk about this a lot in all my, channels and stuff, is like that mindset. Are you creating a mind map of quitting all the time? Or can you change the map in your mind and find something that you love to do that's going to take a mind map to, I work out because I'm doing something good for my body. Therefore, every day your mind wants to take you to a workout. So a lot of working out has nothing to do with the physiological aspect of it. It's emotional and mental.
And to tell you a quick story before we leave about this topic is, I remember years ago, Diane was doing this class, Turbo Fire, that she invited me to, and I'm like, what, Grapevine, like what, doing like aerobics in the gym? No. Well, I'm going to tell you how this thing fired me up. Like when I went in and I did my first Turbo Fire class, I was kind of in the back. I was 2 left feet, and it just wasn't happening. And it was the music. It was the music and the instructors that got me like fired up. And before long, I was like in the front of that class because
ladies, careful what you ask your husband.
I enjoyed it, and I think that's what I like about the Peloton is, I don't know how these folks pulled it off, but they have all the music. I don't know how they have the rights to all this music, but they have music associated with their rides, and I can do whatever kind of music I want for my ride for that 30, 45 minutes, whatever. And so my point is, find something that connects with you. There's got to be something that, whether it's music or whether it's, there's something out there somewhere that once you do and go, hey, this fires me up. Like, I don't care how tired I am, I can still keep going because that music's driving me, or that type of an instructor drives me. But you won't know until you play around with things. I thought, man, there's no way I could do either one of those 2 things. And I end up really loving them both.
Yeah, and it is all about the dialogue you put in your own head too about working out. So use your words wisely. Create situations that are going to make you feel successful. So whether that's putting your clothes out in the middle of the floor the night before. Michael always knows when I'm like serious about my fitness because he's tripping over clothes in the middle of the closet floor. I've also been known to go to bed in my workout clothes, so I'll get up early and just get my workout done. Asking a friend to join you. Public affirmations are a great way to stay committed. And then we treat our workout commitments as non-negotiable appointments with ourselves. So I can tell you tomorrow at 11:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, I will be on my Peloton bike for a 60-minute ride, and I'm inviting all my girlfriends that have a Peloton bike to ride with me. So I know tomorrow what my commitment is to my fitness because I already have it on my schedule, and I've already asked people to join me. Now I'm committed to them, and I will not let them down. So they're expecting me to be there. So all those little things that you do, those little steps that you take will really help you stay committed. So invite a friend to a workout class, and then you have to be committed to that person. We're so okay with letting ourselves down, but we would never let a girlfriend down or never let our spouse down. So create an environment where you can't let yourself down, and you have to do the tricks and fool yourself and set yourself up until it sort of becomes routine for you. That's my problem. It's my schedule. Well, then you have to find time in your schedule. Wake up early, do it on your lunch break, go for a walk. Don't go home from work. When Michael wants to work out at the gym, I say, don't come home. Pack a bag, because as soon as he gets home, we don't want him to leave. And so if he comes home and he changes, he's like, I'm going to the gym, we're always like, oh man, you just got home. So if you want to work out, don't come home. Just go to the gym and then come home and then stay home. So you have to figure out what those blocks are, those things that are keeping you from it, and then eliminate the blocks and then create the schedule that's going to work for you and your fitness.
But there's ways around the schedule, because trust me, I've had some crazy schedules where I had no time. So that's when you have to, like, I remember back in the day when I was doing P90X, I would walk in the door and there was no, like Diane said, no, there's no negotiating on it. It was like, we've already discussed this. This is what I'm going to do. And when I walk in that door, I'm going straight to change my clothes and I'm doing that workout, so that kind of, you can work around the schedule. And And honestly, like when it comes to schedule, like we've used the schedule thing before too.
It's
But if you could sit down and dive into 5 hours of Netflix, you got plenty of good schedule. You know what I mean? I know that hurts, but
yeah, I would say
you know,
if you know who if you know who the final 10 contestants on American Idol are, you have time to work out.
right.
You're just not prioritizing your time wisely. So
I'm not saying that you're doing that necessarily,
no.
but I know we've done that. Like, well, my schedule, like I've had my busiest schedules, and then you find yourself in the what we call the show hole on Netflix, and it's like, man, that's a lot of time where you watch a complete a complete season of a show, you know.
Yeah. So I would say, Tony, my advice, if you have scheduling problems or you think your schedule is limiting your ability to work out, sit down with a calendar that has a breakdown like every 30 minutes or something like that, and fill in where you're committed and fill in where you have gaps, and then create the opportunity to work out. It's not going to be created on its own. It's not going to just fall in your lap. You have to proactively create and schedule your workout time. You do that for a couple of weeks, and then it'll just become what you do during that time. When I was working full time and had an infant at home, I would go run on my lunch break with my girlfriend, or I would do what Michael did, and I would run after work. Like, I'll be home, 45 minutes after I get off work, and I would go for a run around work. So I wouldn't even go home and have a baby that needed me or a husband that needed me. I would do my workout, and then I would go home. So you have to find opportunities and then grab them, and then take them. And this goes for everyone, and this is because Michael and I have been in this situation as well, is things like schedules, money, I don't know what to do, or those kind of things. Those are excuses, right? And we've used those excuses before. So don't create excuses that don't need to be there. If you really want to work out, you'll find a way.
I mean, think about it. If you were paralyzed and you were in a wheelchair, you would think that's probably good enough excuse probably not to work out. But that's not even a good enough excuse, because look,
we know people.
I mean, what you can do, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with paralyzed legs. Or what if you have a broken arm? Well, your legs are not broken. I mean, so there's just no excuse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tony, you're not going to love and exercise until you find your groove in it. You're like, for me, I've been running since I was 15 or 16. I can tell you that there are times when I love running and there's times when I hate running. The times I hate running is when I've stopped running and I have to get back into it, and it's a day one. Like, oh, I hate this. Why did I ever stop? And the times I love running is when I've been committed to it consistently over a period of time, when I have found my groove. When I first started riding on the Peloton bike, I didn't like it because it didn't feel good. I felt awkward on it. I didn't really know how it worked. And I consistently kept getting on it. And now that is my jam. I'm like, I can't wait till tomorrow when I can ride my Peloton bike. So you have to get to that point of loving it. And you have to get through the awkward time and the uncomfortable time and the unsure time. And then you'll get to that point where you love it when you feel and start seeing the results. But in the beginning, very few people love what they're doing because it doesn't feel good. So you have to get to the feel good point for sure. And then experiment. You don't have to be married to any one thing just because you try it. If you have a gym membership, look at the class schedule. Try a bunch of different classes. Do a yoga class, then do a cardio class, do a strength training class, do a Tabata class. Get on a bike, get on a rower, take a couple laps in the pool. Like, experiment with it, and you might find that medley of exercise is what is exciting to you. Or you might be the person that's like, every Tuesday and Thursday at 10:45 I'm going to be in the same class because I like consistency. So you can't say you don't enjoy something until you've really given it a good run.
And you have to dive into that too, like not enjoying something. I think I think you have to be at certain levels of being uncomfortable for certain periods of time, and if you can do that consistently, on the other end of that, you're going to come out and you're going to be much better off. And I know that's like in simple terms, but it's so true. Like, if you can if you can like say you're on a bike ride and there's like in the middle of that bike ride, you feel like you're just going to die for like 10-minute segment of that ride or 15-minute segment of ride, you feel like you're going to die. Well, if you pushed yourself to that point, like consistently for weeks, there's going to be a point where you're going to probably enjoy that part of your ride. And if that makes any sense at all, because it's just building endurance to it, where if you do it now and you just feel uncomfortable, you just feel like the only thing you think of is, I just want to stop. I don't want to do this because it's not comfortable for me. But if you can build, you know, if
it's
you can
confidence.
build up to it, you can build confidence with it. You're going to be better for it on the other end.
Yeah. So, and it's knowing that feeling like you're going to die doesn't mean you're going to die. It actually means you're probably going to live a little bit longer. So it all is the vocabulary that we use in our own head. And again, I have to go back to that phrase, the mind mapping. When I get on the bike and I work so hard that I feel like I'm going to throw up, that's victory to me. Like, yeah, like, oh, that was a great workout. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel like it's awful. I don't feel like it's something that I don't enjoy. I love working out that hard, but it's taken me a long time to get there, and I'm there because I understand the physiological aspects of what I'm doing. I understand what my body chemistry is going through. I know that I'm truly getting to that point of like deep fat burning because I got nothing left in my tanks. So I understand all of that, and it's what I say to myself when I get there, like, oh, you did it, you worked out so hard, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna die. The same thing we talk about in my community with intermittent fasting is, you know, like hungry is where the magic happens is such a powerful phrase, because hungry is that thing that we have been raised to silence, and it's a bad place, and go get some food. You don't want to be hungry. No, when we understand chemically what happens in our body when we're hungry for the right reasons, it's powerful. And I always say, you know, hungry is where the magic happens. And when you're working out and you're feeling that sense of pain or that feeling like you're just completely depleted, that's when you're creating change. And so you want to get to that point where you're creating change. And that is where you're uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're probably not working out hard enough to create that change. Yeah, right? So in discomfort will come change. And you'll thrive there.
And the reward is not only feeling good when you're done, but when you get your blood work back and all your numbers have improved tremendously, then you're like, then you feel really good about what you're doing, you know. But and that all comes with time. So
there you go, Tony. There's your
that was a
one-on-one coaching for working out. Girlfriend, good that you asked that question. And you know, we don't want to, like, the one thing that we don't ever want to do is preach here, because trust me, we've done it all. We've said it all. We've quit it all. We've restarted it all. We've felt it all. But what we can tell you from where we're sitting today is, you know, it's a journey of learning, and it's a process, and you don't want to beat up on yourself. You want to make sure that you are really understanding the benefits. Don't make working out a punishment. Don't make it a torture. I don't have to work out. I choose to work out. There's power in that. Just say that to yourself. I am choosing to work out. Gives you just that posture change, you know, and so make sure you're using your words wisely. Make sure you're thinking about it for the long-term effects, and create that opportunity where you're going to have some change in your overall health and well-being and your physique, and that will get you more excited about what you're doing.
Okay.
Right.
Let's go get our baby girl.
We're off our soapbox. We're going to let you guys go. Have a great weekend. Any messages that you have for us, please feel free to email us or leave them in the comment section. Like I said, within the next 24 hours, we'll circle back around and we'll get those answered for you. And thank you so much for your questions, Tony. Thanks for starting the discussion on that one.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck. And keep us posted. If you have any other questions or concerns, definitely feel free to reach out to us. We want to help you feel successful with what it is you're trying to do with your exercise, your IF, and your keto-like lifestyle. Have a good weekend, you guys.
Have a great weekend.